Alright guys, we're once again talking WWE 2K15 as IGN's associate editor Vincent Ingenito has shared some new information on the game, so I'll get to that in a moment, but before I do, 2K released this Goldust render early this morning to go along with the Goldust screenshot that was seen yesterday, as Goldust is a playable character in the demo at Gamescom, which opens to the public today, as yesterday it was only open to press. Because it's open to the public today, there's a good chance we'll see more footage posted online, so if there's any new gameplay released, I'll be sharing it out on Twitter, Facebook and the Smack Talks forum. While we're on the subject of the demo at Gamescom, we do have some overall ratings for each of the superstar side features, with Goldust coming in at 87, Randy Orton at 82, Cesaro surprisingly 1 point higher at 93, and of course John Cena the highest rated at 96. As for whether those are correct, I can't actually verify it, but it does seem strange Cesaro would be rated higher than Orton, but with the demo open to the public today, it is something that someone is bound to check. So that's the roundup done, now let's move on to the Q&A, as the first question comes from Anthony, who asks if career mode is available on all consoles or just PS4 and Xbox One, to which Vincent confirms that my career is exclusive to current gen consoles, with current gen being PS4 and Xbox One. The second question comes from Horsemeat, who asks if Universe mode will be returning in 2K15, with Vincent confirming that it is. So both of them are questions that we've already had answered before, but there are questions that I keep getting asked, so I just want to include them for anyone that missed the earlier confirmation. Up next, YG asks if 2K have said anything about having real life arenas in 2K15 just like they do in the NBA series, with Vincent saying that he'd asked 2K the question, but they haven't gone that far this year. From the sound of it, maybe it's something that we could see next year or beyond, as it would be cool to finally get a true Madison Square Garden style arena, so maybe that's something we'll see in 2K16. Chris Crane asks a question that a lot of people have been wondering next, as he asks if the graphics are even a little bit better on PlayStation 3, to which Vincent replies, not 100% sure I should be saying this, but I think you'll be pretty happy with how 2K15 on last gen looks versus 2K14. So that's good news for anyone planning to get the game on last gen consoles, as the graphics do appear to be a step up, and we know that there's a new lighting system and higher resolution textures in place to help improve the game over 2K14. The next question is an interesting one, as Glenn Sawley asks about news of a demo on the PSN prior to the release, or if there's any signs of NXT in the game, to which Vincent replies, I might know something about one of those two topics, but I can't talk about either. As for which topic he knows something about, chances are it's the inclusion of NXT to be part of career mode, but of all the years to release a demo, then this year would be a great time to do so with all the gameplay changes. Chris Crane has another question next, and he asks if the finishers have been changed to look more realistic, such as Kofi's Trouble in Paradise, with the answer given that although he's only seen a few wrestlers, Orton's RKO does look great. On the subject of the RKO, Hayden Fox asked if it's one or two-handed, with the confirmation coming that it is two-handed. Cassidy Lauren Hayes asks about the tie-up animation and how often it happens in matches, with Vincent confirming that it only happens 2 or 3 times max in most matches, and reaffirming that you only need to use it to access your core grapple moves. Up next, Dre Hench Gamer asks if Vincent's seen any other in-game superstars aside from Cesaro, Orton, Cena and Goldust, with Vincent confirming he's seen 2 other superstars, but he can't reveal them or he'll be killed by the 2K ninjas. With the roster reveal taking place this Saturday, we won't have to wait long to find out which other superstars he's seen, and hopefully we'll also see some in-game models, as IGN will be live streaming the roster reveal from 10 AM PT on Saturday, which I think is 6 PM here in the UK, but I'll put a link to a time converter in the video description so you can find out what time it takes place where you live. Getting back to the chain grapple, Unfrozen Caveman Gamer asks what happens at the end of the grapple if you do everything right. Vincent answers, the point is to maintain a dominance so you can strike or wrench. Once you've scored damage 3 times, the lockup ends. There's also a follow-up question to this asking if the minigame can be turned off, but although it's not answered, it is revealed that 2 equally skilled players can go back and forth for some time. Based off those answers, we now know that if you complete it and score damage 3 times, that'll end the lockups and we'll have access to regular moves, but if both players keep winning minigames alternately, then we should see them transition between holds on each other until someone ultimately gains the advantage. Staying with the lockup, Bobby Roode questions what happens if both players press the same button during the minigame, and get an answer that the players would choose again if they chose the same the first time around, then if it happened a second time they would break the hold as though neither of them could outdo each other. The final question comes from Hayden Fox, as he wants to know what the showcase mode is like, with Vincent confirming it is very similar to 30 years of WrestleMania, and that's a good thing in his eyes, which is something I agree with, as I really like the way that mode was set out. So that is all information out of the Q&A. Let me know your thoughts on it and the demo ratings in the comments, and I'll be back later on with some more news. Until then, I'll catch you later.